back if you're there. Yeah, it just randomly did it. It did it to me earlier too, but nobody was in there, so. Yeah. That wasn't deliberate. Maybe because there's a lot of people on or something. I don't know. Maybe they're like, God damn, you've been on here 5 hours, woman. Go to bed. Probably do this for about another hour maybe, and then I guess I should hit the sack. You know. I'll just get up and start streaming again tomorrow. Oh, so I'm really irritated right now with Twitch because someone said, "Oh, use Twitch Beta for your songs, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." It's like not charge. I don't have to pay a fee. Kicking ass music. You can't replay your videos after that. You can only use it while you're streaming. So what's the point? And I was really mad because I had to delete last night's conversation because I was using it, and then tonight I had to delete all those videos from tonight, and then switch back over to Epidemic. So I'm a little irritated. Yeah, the fact that we just can't play the music that we have is just ridiculous. I don't know. I already paid for Spotify. I've been a Spotify fan from like day one. But don't know what the deal is. I mean, this isn't really what I would choose to listen to if I had my choice, but it's okay, I guess. Yeah, I'm actually bundled in with it for like Spotify and Hulu, I think. So I don't pay too much a month. It's fine. Yeah, I have tons of playlists, so I wouldn't want to have to like do that all over again. Cause like I said, I've been a customer of theirs for so long, probably since they first started. quite honestly. So I probably have like 100 or more playlists for sure. Right? Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, and like you said, you're not really into music much, so yeah, I could see that. So like the music that I have playing though, does that trigger you or no? It's okay. Because you are a guest in my house, so if you would like, I can change it to something else. But it all pretty much sounds like this, really. Okay, gotcha. All right, makes sense. Yeah, okay. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't play music while I work, man. I think I would lose it. I would lose it. When we were going into the office, I would just put my headphones in, and then of course when my phone rang, I'd take them off and answer the phone. Just I can't stand like when I'm in the office environment and everybody's just like yakking about their personal lives or things like that, and I'm just like I got to tune that out. I'm like we're here to work, people. Plus, then like lots of people would want to come up and talk to me, and I'm just like that's kind of my way of saying don't come and talk to me. Yeah, yeah. I'm like I don't really, yeah, have time to talk to you. So because I have a lot of anxiety if someone wants to come up and talk. It's like I don't want to be rude, but at the same time I'm like pressured because I know I got work sitting in front of me that needs to be done. So it's a hard balance. I even had a gal across from me that she straight up streamed movies on her phone and like watched them all day. They didn't like that though. They got on her for it, but she continued to do it. I mean, and that's what I do now. I turn my side TV on and, Just play whatever. As I watch a documentary and then towards like the evening, because I've been kind of serious all day, I put on some South Park just to kind of lighten things up. Do you know, yeah, yeah, right? I get that. And then, probably the other person on the other end doesn't have the patience, right? To, wait it out. Do I know what? I don't know. I forgot. I think I was going to ask you if you've heard of the cartoon Big Mouth. If you've seen it. It's like one of my favorite things in the world. I love it so much. At first I was like, oh my god, this is so crass. But then I'm like, no, South Park's really bad. I remember when South Park first came out too. I had a friend. He's like, have you seen this cartoon? I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? And then he showed me and I was like, oh my god, no. Doesn't, okay. I would beg to disagree because that's how I felt about it at first. You got to give it a few episodes. I was like, what in the hell? But then the more you watch it and you're just like, you see yourself in some of the characters, right? And you're just like, oh my god, this is so true. I don't know. I liked it. But see, my wife, same thing. She's like, yeah, no. I'm like, oh, come on, watch it with me. Nah. Nah. She says, nah. It's over now. No, it had 5 seasons. And I don't know if they're going to do another one, but it's out there if you want to watch it. Okay. That's fair. That's totally fair. I'm easily amused, so that's probably why it works for me. Because it's quick. And it's just so wrong. It's so wrong. Yeah, I couldn't get into Rick and Morty, but I can see why there's a following. But then, have you seen Solar Opposites, which is the same creators of Rick and Morty? I love that one. I mean, that would be kind of hard to just like relax and enjoy something, I imagine. Right? Man. My wife posted a meme the other day and it was a cartoon. I think it's a remake of some kind of cartoon character, but anyway, it's like, you know, he's in bed, he's sleeping, right? And it's like me 3 a.m. and then it's like he wakes up and he's like, where the fuck is my birth certificate? It's like that. Like, really, brain? Really? That's what you're gonna give me at 3 a.m.? Or even like with this, like I stressed over my videos. I'm like, okay, so what did I say? Like, how did I say it? Like, I was just like, and then I just thought, no, I'm just gonna leave it. That one. Yeah, it's out there with different things, but it cracked me up because it was like, where else would your birth certificate be but in a safe space? Sometimes I'm just like to myself, and my counselor loved this because when we were talking, we were in like a return to work program, and I told her, I said, sometimes I just have to give myself the cold shoulder and ignore that bitch because she talks a lot, and sometimes I just don't want to listen to her. So, yeah. So sometimes I just have to tell myself, shut the fuck up. Man, I'm sorry. That's gotta be really hard. I don't even know what I would do if that was me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm on medication for depression. Big time. Like, I probably take enough to probably put a horse out. That's how I feel. But I had to do it. I just couldn't do it any longer. I needed help. I'm not saying that you need help. I was just saying for myself. I couldn't do it. That voice was so dark and nasty. Man. Scary thing about it, though, is that it could come back. So. But yeah. But it's not as in the forefront as it used to be. So that's good. And I think this helps. I think, like, talking with people, like, you build your natural serotonin and you just feel better. because you keep hearing like that same, broken record going on and on and on. So then you're like, okay, this must be true. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. And then add trying to be social on top of it. Yes. I'm beneficially diagnosed with social anxiety disorder myself, so yeah. Get it. Yeah. I pretty much, when I get overwhelmed and I'm like, I know I need that time to just recharge, I get really quiet. Is it different though if you get mad? Because you know how we were talking about your professor that you had the argument with? So, like, if you feel like you're being challenged or, you got to stand up, I mean, you can do it though? Oh, gosh. That must be maddening. Do you have any, like, self soothing techniques that you use to try to help with that? Okay. I was just wondering because when you were saying you were arguing with your professor, I mean, obviously that was more of a real time experience. So I was just wondering maybe if you're angered or you feel like you're in the right, that maybe that helps give you that voice. Like it overrides the rest of it, and just you can get your words out. Okay. Hmm. I mean, yeah, it sounds. I mean, everybody's got their ways of coping for sure. I guess for me, I grew up in an environment where you didn't you didn't question someone older than you, and that contributed to a lot of abuse. And then we don't talk about this, like, right? So regardless of how I was feeling, I had to put on a happy face and act like everything was fine. And that's very hard for me to do. I'm very much I share my expressions on my face before I even realize that I'm doing it. So it's hard for me to shut up, I guess, sometimes. or not say something if I'm hurt or angry, because, I spent my entire childhood being told I couldn't speak about anything. So, yeah. Yeah, me too. But you know what? I guess for this life, I had to go through it for some reason. I don't know what I was supposed to learn, but I definitely didn't learn forgiveness because that has not happened. But, you know, I think more as I get older, I just tend to let parts of it go because I'm never going to get that apology. It's never going to make sense as to why. The why is never going to make sense to me. So I don't even know why I hold on to that. It's just hurting me. I mean, yeah. I don't have contact with any of my family. Well, I don't know on my mother's side because supposedly she was adopted. So, and she never wanted to know who her father was. I'm pretty sure I know who it is. I think it's another like friend of the family, but I couldn't prove it. But on my dad's side, unfortunately, again, they chose him over me pretty much. So I was the one that spoke about the things you're not supposed to speak about. So I was not treated very well after that as well. But there were some really good times because I had up en route to a different school, and man, it was hard. That was a hard time period for me. I mean, it's hard enough being a teenager. Just that alone is hard enough, but then you just add that extra stuff in, and it's just, yeah. But you know what? It's part of who I am. It's not my fault that it happened. It sucks, but I think it's made me very strong about certain things, and I have a very good sense of what's right and what's wrong, and I'll stick up for you. If you're being wronged, man, I'm going to stick up for you hardcore. So, okay. Yeah. Thank you. It never really leaves you. No matter how much you think you have it under control, it doesn't ever really leave you if you really want to like sit it and think about it. God. It can really get you. Lots of therapy. So when your dad is like, you should be like questioning your elders or whatever, did that include him as well? Like, what if you disagreed with him about something? Was he chill about it, or was he like, no, you're gonna do what I say because I'm the dad? It did apply to him. Okay, all right, that's interesting. God, I would have never done that to my parents. Now, I did as an adult, and of course it did not go well. So I pretty much gave my mother an ultimatum and said, if you can't be healthy You can't be in my life. And that was hard because I had to finally give up the fact that, like I said, I wasn't ever going to get that apology. Not that there's an apology that erases what happened, but I think that little kid in me just was like looking for something, some sort of maternal instinct or, just something. But it just wasn't there. It just was not there. I don't know what happened. And I have a baby picture of myself with my mom, and I was just born, and I just look at her and I think, my God, she was so young and just full of just opportunities, and she just allowed herself to turn into this bitter, unhappy person. And if she was unhappy, everybody else was unhappy. In our house, if she was happy, then we could all kind of walk around on eggshells, but it didn't take long for it to go away, for sure. So yeah, I mean, gosh, I don't even know what that would have been like. Growing up with a parent that you could question. Oh, wow. Oh, gosh. And does he do it? Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's good that you have that. But hey, at least I don't have to stress out about Father's and Mother's Day. It's not my problem. I know that's a fucked up way to look at it, but you know what? I gotta laugh about it. Yeah, just my coping mechanism. Yeah, like, especially like when I was younger, I was like, fuck, I don't care that I don't have a dad around. But now that I'm older, my wife's getting that time with her mom, that, you know, you're finally an adult. You could like take your mom to lunch or something if you wanted to, and do things for her. And I'm not saying that I want my particular dad around. I miss the idea of having a father. Because, like, I still, like, I mean, I don't totally get into my engine and tear it apart, but, like, I do things with my car, and, I grew up, like, handing him tools and stuff, like, every weekend, listening to the Dodgers play on the radio, and that's just kind of how I grew up, but, and then there's, like, stuff around the house that I'm like, okay, I'm not really sure if I'm doing this right, but, so it would be awesome to be able to call a dad and be like, hey Dad, how do I do this? Or, can you come over and can we like try to, I don't know, let's change the oil in my car together or something like that. It's a little bit of a bonding experience and I just don't have that. There is a really cool guy. I think he's on Facebook though, and he might be on TikTok and YouTube, but he runs a channel that says, hey Dad, how do I ... And then he covers like different things. It's cool. And then there's another guy that is Korean, and his TikTok is I'm your Korean dad, and he like takes you on an errand with him, or like he'll get you something, like he's acting like you're with him. It is the cutest freaking thing I've ever seen. And then he does this, like, if you do this, wait, I don't even know if I'm going to show it right. Like, I guess this means like I love you in Korean. It's like a little, And so he does that at the end of each video. It just makes me smile. I love it. And he's got kids. He just feels like sharing himself like that with the world, and it makes it better for sure. And then I've kind of always hoped that, you know, I'd meet someone that could be like my adoptive dad, you know? But I don't think that's going to happen either. And that's okay. Next time. Yeah. Right. Cool. Yeah, that kind of stuff too. I mean, I have some good memories with my mom, but I mean, those were very few and far between. And when those times happened, even when they were happening in real time, I used to think, why can't it be like this all the time? But unfortunately, it just wasn't. That's funny you're talking about cooking because when CJ was in here earlier, we were talking about cooking, and their boyfriend doesn't let them cook because they're afraid they'll burn the house down. And I thought, you just need to get out there and do it, and like have your boyfriend help you. Like you guys cook the same thing together, you know. Like my wife and I'll do that. But she's head chef though. It's her kitchen, that's her domain. But I'll cut stuff, or like up at her mom's, you know, her mom will prep, and then, you know, she cooks for us. But it can be a bonding experience for sure. And she has really good memories of her grandmother, you know, cooking and stuff. So nice. Yeah, I think you have to have some confidence in the kitchen for sure. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep, for sure. And see, my mom was a good cook. Like there's some things today that I still am like I miss her making because it just tasted good. Like her potato salad was the bomb. It was the best, and I can never replicate it. Never. Or like my mother-in-law, she makes us Rice Krispies, and they taste so effing good. Like if I try to make them, they would not taste that good. I don't know what it. I think it's like that motherly part gets into it, and it adds the flavor. It's this much. Like does she go like, oh, it's like this much with her fingers, and you're like, I don't know how to calculate that. No measurements. Yeah, there's some people that cook like that. They don't measure their spices or anything that they're putting in. They just do their thing. Well, that's kind of hard to learn from, though. Like, I think you have to, like, maybe know the basics before you get there. I don't know. Maybe. Some people, but you know what? I think some people have talent for cooking and, like, baking and things like that. And then, just like anything else, just like drawing, I guess. I mean, my ex was a horrible cook. Oh, she would burn water. Oh, I loved her to death, though. But yeah, I had to do most of the cooking, which I don't like. So I was like, cranky all the time because I gotta cook. And try to cook on a budget because we were young and stupid. Yeah. Yeah, you can't with baking. You gotta be spot on with baking. I mean, sometimes I've fudged maybe like, a little bit of flour off, but yeah, for the most part. Even like when I was telling CJ earlier about I love chili verde, and I have a really cool crock pot recipe. I mean, even for that, even though they're like dumping everything in and it seems easy, you still have to measure out the spices. So, but I like doing that. Like, just throw everything in the pot and let it do its thing for the day. I don't want to have to coddle it. So yeah, no, I don't do the turkey at Thanksgiving either for that reason. Hey, sometimes there's happy accidents, right? Doesn't Bob Ross say that? In fact, I was going to tell you, it was just me and Bob Ross are streaming tonight. Nobody else seems to be on. So I thought that was kind of funny. But two, yeah, I mean, with anything, I mean, you gotta learn, right? You gotta learn, and you learn by making mistakes. So, I think you're alright. I don't think she's gonna kick you out of the kitchen just yet. Hey, Maisie. Welcome to the chat. Lizard people from Bob Ross. Yeah, I don't know how you do that either. And there's a really good documentary out there about him because you know he's no longer with us. He has passed on to the happy little trees in the sky. But yeah, it's kind of sad actually. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't watch it. Maisie, how am I today? I'm fine, thank you. Em and I were just talking about being taught how to cook by our relatives and making mistakes. What am I drawing? So right now I'm just not really like doing anything. I mean, I am, but it's not something I'm basically just retracing a drawing that I already did. I had to redo, but it's basically, I don't know if you can see it. It's not really translating well, but I'm drawing it in red because it's hard for me to see. So I'm just trying to get through it so that we can actually do something with it. You are first time on my stream. I've only been streaming since this last Thursday though, so how's that for brand new? Aw, Em. Nice. Nice. M is very nice to talk to as well. I can't take all that credit. Okay, that's cool. Jump in whenever you feel like. If you don't feel like it, that is fine as well. I am okay with whichever. She took pity on me because I only had one viewer. Thank you, Maisie. Not that you're not enough, Em. I'm just, maybe that's why. I imagine that if you go into like the really popular artists and you're trying to chat, like it just scrolls. Like there's no conversation. Yeah, it's morning for me too. And definitely for Em. It's getting really late for you, Em. Yeah, I agree with that. Like I don't know how that sea of voices you're gonna get yourself heard. I tried one night and I was like, oh my god, there's no way they're gonna see this. Then there's this guy that I follow on TikTok, and one of his gimmicks is to hold a mouth of water and you try to make him laugh. So he's like just sitting there in the camera and he's like, and like people are just saying things, and I threw like just winners out there, and I don't even think he saw him because he didn't laugh. Like, how do you find small streamers? Like, do you put something in the search recommendation or? Any small streamer that has music recommendations on. Oh. Okay. Oh, by the lowest view count? Yeah. So, Maisie and search for something interesting. Okay, so like what do you remember what tag it was that brought you here? I'm just curious. Okay, LGBT. Well, yeah, so I've got the LGBT and the art. The art category. Okay. Well, I'm surprised by that because there's so much art. I'm shocked. I stuck out to you. In what way? I'm curious. Art and English. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, I found out tonight that CJ's in Mexico. But I mean, it's obvious that she speaks English. And you were. Let's see, I haven't been kicked off yet, so we're good still. Might have something to post after being on for 6 hours tonight. Oh, that's fine. No, that's fine. Don't worry about it. We can make it out. There's no grammar police here, so not that I'm aware of. Right? Ukrainian. Okay. What time is it in the Ukraine right now? Is it Sunday still? Like later in the day or? I'm in the United States in Texas and it's almost 2 o'clock here in the morning. Okay, so you're about 8 hours ahead of us. No, 9 hours ahead of us then. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, for sure. And so, Maisie, are you trying to learn English or have you learned it and then you're just trying to like apply it to conversation? Okay. Perfect. Well, you can practice away with us. Oh, thanks. Because I'm really just kind of retracing it, but yeah, it's. I can't believe it's been taking this long. Ah, that looks really crappy small though, doesn't it? Looks a lot better big. Yeah, hopefully when I change it to black, it'll look better. But then I'll probably spaz out and spend like copious amounts of unrelated time on it just to make it look smooth in one area or something. Thank you, Maisie. I think I'm gonna, this empty space that's up here above my camera. And I was gonna ask what you would think about maybe putting like a slideshow of like stuff that's actually done, just to prove that I can do it. Yeah. Like I said, though, I do all kinds of things. I mean, I don't have a style, and sometimes that bothers me because I go into other I go into other artists' pages, and like everything they do is consistent. Like it's all like one cohesive thing, and I'm like, beep, 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 beep. So yeah. Oh, that's not cool. I'm so sorry to hear that, Maisie. That's got to be frustrating. I would be lost without my computer. I mean, literally lost. But I mean, I have like, I have my iPad and I have a phone, so I have some backup there. But yeah, if I lost my iPad and I couldn't replace it, I would be mad. I'd probably have to rob a bank to get another one. Like, I did it for the art. Yeah. It just seems like other artists, they have a style and they stick to that and they pick that style. But then I kind of think that it would get boring after a while. Like, don't you think? And I guess I'm kind of more like like I'll have a series, right? So, my little chibi guys that I draw, they're all horror. I put them all under vintage horror, and they were all in the same style. And I've got some Cosmic Ghost stuff I need to post too, and they all kind of have that same theme. But then I get kind of bored with it. I have to go to something else. Yeah. Okay. So I'm overthinking it then. Yeah. And so, Maisie, do you do art for a living, or are you just kind of like a hobbyist like me? Watercolors. Okay. Okay. All right. I bet I can imagine that there's some probably very beautiful places there in the Ukraine that you could paint. I don't know. Do you do scenery work, or do you do people or pets or nature? It's your hobby. Okay. Me too. I actually have to be an adult and actually work for a living, but it's okay. It gives me the things I want in life, so I guess that works out. Yes. That's true. Yeah, and quite honestly, when I'm on like Instagram, when I looked up for my octopus tattoo, I went to Instagram and I looked at all the different artists and like what they had, and I picked my artist based on the way his art was. But it was different things. And even when I went to him, I mean, he kind of already knew what I wanted, but he still waited till I showed up and he took a measurement of my arm, and he was back there for probably an hour before he came out with his design, and I absolutely loved it. Anything comes, see, that's how I am. I've already got another idea in my head that I want to do, so I'm like, I might leave this and just like, but I've got, I'm going to start parsing out my videos so that they're all like, if I do a video about, like when I had my Bates Motel thing on the other night, if I can like pick that up and do that, it's going to go into that collection. This will probably go into like, I don't know, maybe I'll do a series of bones with mushrooms or something and put it in there. So I'm kind of doing that. Right. I bet you, Maisie, that if we were trying to learn the Ukrainian language and we were trying to type, that we would be in a similar situation. I'm winging it. It's okay if you're not fast. It's all right. We can wait. Right. Oh, well, that's right. We won't tell anybody. M's constantly correcting. But I get, but the thing is when you type it out, I know what you're talking about. I type really fast, but that's because I spend most of my day doing it. So, yeah, I'm pretty fast. And I use the 10 key a lot. I don't even look at it. Thank you. I was a little worried about it because it's definitely not like the other artists are, you know? Oh, well, I feel even more honored than I did earlier now. That made you stop reading your comic. I don't know if I'm going to be able to live up to that standard there, Em. Uh, true. It is. That's why I fussed over it so much. I mean, God. I should have been paying myself for the amount of hours I spent on that thing. Literally, like, I sat down one day and it was like, I sat down at, like, let's say 12. And the next thing you know, I'm looking up and it's like 7 p.m. And I'm just like, where did the frickin' day go? And then, like I said, every lunch break, every 15-minute break, twice a day, I was on it, trying to get through my work so that I could get back to it. So I appreciate that you appreciate the fact that I put time into it. Because it's kind of your brand, you know? So. Oh, I know. I'm sure my wife is thinking, why are you torturing yourself like that? What the hell is wrong with you? But, yeah. So far, I'm having fun. I'll keep doing it till I'm not having fun, which I don't think that's ever going to happen. Because it's pretty fun so far. I am waiting for my first troll, though. Like the things I would say back. You know you can delete your videos off. Oh, well, I'm in Texas and it's very hot here. So no snow. But yeah, in the upper states that are near Canada, yeah, there's snow. For sure. It's been a very weird weather season here in the US. There's a lot of different things going on that shouldn't be happening at this time of year, but unfortunately, I think we're going to start seeing a change in our weather. Yeah. How about in the Ukraine? Is it snowy there? I imagine. I just have these images in my brain of what it looks like. Yeah. So, Em, you probably don't watch this show, but I do. I think I talked about it before. 90 Day Fiance. There's a gal on there, and she's from the Ukraine. I love listening to her talk. Yeah, they're always up there in Michigan, boy. Man, I don't know how they do it. But I have noticed that my job is sometimes swayed by the weather, and there hasn't been as much up there as there normally is. Oh, cold, snowy, and windy outside. I was telling CJ, that's another one of my followers, she was in my stream earlier. Okay, I did it again. And just slap me. Okay, CJ was in my stream earlier, And we were talking about that because there's been no rain. Yeah. Yeah. No rain, nothing. Like Monday, we're supposed to get like a 30% chance. I'm not going to hold my breath. Then if it does rain, I'm going to want to take the day off and just sit. Thank you. And just sit and just like do this. But here's the thing. If I take a day off, if I do like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off thing at work, I can't stream because what if somebody saw it? Then I'd be in trouble. So yeah. If I took what I sometimes call a mental health day, and then they saw me streaming, they'd be like, what's going on there? So I'd have to lay low. But it has been getting cold at night, but I don't think tonight's supposed to be that cold. Maybe like 41. Let me look. Oh, tonight is 29, actually. I guess I'm going to have to put the heater back on the faucets again. But tomorrow is 63. A lot of ice. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah. Sun. Blech. No winter here this year, I guess. I mean, it is cold, but there's just no weather with it. What am... Oh. Well, okay, that would make sense, though, because you've grown up in Florida, right? You gotta experience the snow. So I grew up in California, and I moved to Washington State in Spokane. I know, right? And so I was 25 when I experienced my first snow. And it was in the middle of the night. And my girlfriend woke me up and she was like, it's snowing. And I was like, no, it's not. And she was like, yeah. And so we went downstairs and it was an apartment complex. And like, we literally were making snowmen at like 2 a.m. It was awesome. And a bunch of other people came out too. So that was fun. Yeah. And then every year it would snow. The bad thing is driving in it. That's the bad thing. If you can just stay home, yeah, and just not have to worry about going out in it, then you're okay. But it is pretty, and it gets so quiet. If it's a really good snow, yeah. And if you're going to travel to a snowy state, I would recommend Colorado. I imagine it probably gets bitterly cold there. Oh, that's how I felt on the freeway today. Live or die. Thankfully, I lived. Oh, yeah, they are. They were bad this last year, too, weren't they? Again, affects my job. So, yeah, it was not fun. Yeah. See, that's how I feel about here about the tornadoes. Dude, tornadoes freak me the F out. I do not like the spring, and then in the fall they happen. And then this last time, I mean, that big one in Kentucky was bad. It was so bad. Or Tennessee, where was that one that was really bad? And actually, my other niece lives up that way. And they literally slept through the entire night, and I was like, oh my God. It was so bad. You haven't fallen yet? Well, that's a good thing. Hey, I wouldn't be trying to bring that on, for sure. I have fallen in this on the ice. It doesn't feel good. It hurts. It is not fun. Oh my gosh. That's awful. Yeah. The wind, man. People, you never underestimate the power of water or wind, for sure. Definitely. But what was funny is when I lived in Missouri, you know, they were all like very laissez-faire about tornadoes. They just didn't really care. And I would just be freaking out the entire day. And then they were like, well, you grew up where there was earthquakes. And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't know those were coming. It's like it just happened and you grew up doing the drills, so you kind of knew what to do, right? And yes, there were some very bad earthquakes in California in the 90s. Luckily, I was on either side of the state when they happened, so that was very fortunate, but they don't happen as often. There's not usually big ones like that. You get a big one and it's just like one and then that's it for like 20, 30 years. But man, those tornadoes come around every season. Really, Em? Wow. Man, things that happened to us when we were kids. I had a friend that she literally could not stand closets and spiders because when she was little, her sister locked her in the closet with a spider and she about lost her mind and just like it freaked her out. I bet. Man, I would be scared to be in a hurricane for sure. What? Em, talk about JoJo's Bizarre Stories. I think you need to have your own little show. Like Em's Wild Adventures or something. On a boat. Were you trying to reenact that movie called Perfect Storm? Because I don't recommend it. Talk about a movie that gives you anxiety. My God. Oh. Oh, Maisie, I'm sorry I didn't see your follow. Thank you. Thank you. Ignore the weather warnings. See? He was questioning authority. Oh, God. Wow. Oh, that must have been horribly scary. Are you asking M? Oh, jeez. I can't. Oh, wow. That's like when you're the most impressive, I think, is at that age. I almost killed my best friend's dad once. Well, I mean, like, not really, but like, so we were out in the desert, and in the desert, there's jackrabbits. They look like regular bunny rabbits, but they're really tall and they have really long legs, and they're in the desert environment, so they like need to hop around. And so my best friend's dad was in the driver's seat. My dad was next to him. I was right behind my dad, and my best friend was sitting next to me in a Jeep. And my dad saw a jackrabbit, and he pulled out his a pellet gun, not an actual gun. It just shoots pellets like BBs. And he went to shoot it, and I freaked out because I was like, "No, you're not killing this rabbit." And like I pushed him, and so like because he was reaching across my best friend's dad to shoot this rabbit. Then of course he missed, and it hurt the rabbit, so that made it even worse. Yeah. Oh man, I think yours is worse than mine. I don't understand that one, but oh wow. Mm. And your dad had no regard for safety? Okay, so Maisie, you're 15. Okay, all right. Yeah, that's cool. My best friend's sister was about 10 years older than us, and she used to take us everywhere. We'd go to the mall, we'd go shopping, she'd take us to SeaWorld, we'd go to Disneyland all the time. That was a lot of fun. I'm so thankful that I had that because otherwise yeah. I don't know if I would still be here. I got carried away sometimes. You think? You think, Dad? Maybe just a little bit carried away? Oh gosh, I don't have any formal training. I just do it. I've been drawing, I mean, I've been drawing for as long as I can remember since I was little and I can hold a crayon and draw. But yeah, so a long time. A lot longer than you and Em put together, your ages. Right, forever. Yeah. You do it because you love it. I mean, it's just with anything. You have a great day, Maisie. Please come back. Thanks for popping in and introducing yourself. Thank you. I'm probably going to wrap it up here in a bit, and then I'll probably be on later again today, which would be pretty late for you, but hey, if you're up and you want to join us, please, please, please come back. So, I was like, I saw that and I thought, wait, did you do that on purpose? Because if not, that's pretty genius. Because I was like, yeah, she's probably going to have an ice night since there's snow and ice. But I knew you meant nice, so, but I thought that was still kind of cute, actually, anyway. I'm very much. Really? Look how much I have left. This is like the never ending line drawing ever. Maybe because I'm not thinking about it. I'm just like going through it. Like I said, I'm probably going to wake up later today and be like, oh my god, what was I doing? Maybe when I get up later today, we'll. I think we're still going to be doing this, unfortunately. You're not a moron. Oh, you mean on my streaming? Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. I thought you meant my drawing. I was like, I didn't think I was drawing that fast, but thank you. I just think that was funny that you typed it. You didn't mean to, but it made me giggle because like I do shit like that all the time. For instance, earlier today, what did I tell you guys last night that my mother-in-law's dog got out and then the guy brought him back? So we got him DNA tested and we're all like trying to bid on what we think he is. And so I said to my wife, I said, well, he's either a Cheester or he's a ham wawa. And she's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, it's not funny if I have to explain it to you. And I'm like, think about it for a second. And she's just like, I'm not, she goes, I don't, she's just like, explain. I'm like, okay, so he's like Chihuahua and part hamster. So, cause he squeezes his butt through a gate that's like about this big. And I'm like, so he's either a Cheester or a ham wawa. And I'm like, I choose ham wawa because I think that sounds hilarious. But yeah, no. She was like, oh. Like, really? And then I'm like, why she puts up with me, I have no idea. I know, right? I figured she'd get it when I said ham wawa, but I think she thought I was serious, and I was like, I'm not serious about that. No. But I did put in my bid, and you can look these kind of dogs up. But somehow I found out that there's a German Spitz type of dog, and I think there's a Chinese one or a Japanese Spitz. Well, there's an Indian Spitz, like from India. And I looked it up, and I swear it matches him perfectly. Like, and they even had ones that had the little brown spots on his back. And I was like, oh, I bet you he's a Spitz. And there is a high Indian population here in Texas. So it's very, very possible that that's what he is. He could still be some Chihuahua too, but I'm going to put my money on the Spitz. Right? You're like, when did I draw? What was I thinking when I drew that? What the? Yeah. I'm totally that. Why do you think I have so many drawings in my Procreate? With all these folders, I had to keep them organized because I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do it from start to finish. No, it's not going to happen. I'm the same thing. I'm the same way when I read, though. Like, I'll read something for a bit, and I'll be like, what about this book? And then I'm like, oh, I gotta go back to that old book. So, I don't know. I have too many choices, apparently. I feel so international tonight. I got Mexico, I got Ukraine, and I got Florida. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That reminds me. Maybe I'll do before I come on tomorrow night, or I'm sorry, later today. Um, I found something that made me laugh, and it has a chicken in it, and I want to do it. So see, I'm already thinking about drawing something else. But that's okay. That's why I've got collection folders so that I can put these videos in there. So if somebody's wants to eventually see what a finished piece looks like, 30 years from now. But oh, I think I'm losing my steam. You are up late. Do you get to sleep in? A sketchbook tour. I don't really have a sketchbook. It's all here on Procreate. I mean, I have stuff that I've drawn like way back in the day when we didn't have computers to draw on. Just had to draw. Still have a really bitchin' ass drawing of an owl that I did, a screech owl. That's, I think, packed away somewhere. Yeah, and I think I'm going to work on just like a revolving slideshow. Good. I I would assume if you had to be up for church, you would have already been in bed and asleep, so. Okay. You know what? That's kind of how I grew up. Except my parents were Catholic, so um, yeah, raised very strictly Catholic, by the way. So like my mom used to tell me about the nuns. So and then they baptized me against my will when I was a baby, but it's all right. I'm all right. I'll live. You know what? I bet you there's a lot of students that are up late doing that. Who knows? Your teacher might even be up late. Night owls unite. See, when my wife's around, she kind of tempers my late night a bit. Cause we'll go to bed and we'll just like be on our iPads or something or reading or, and so I usually fall out probably like anywhere from between like 11 and 12. But left to my own devices, here I am, almost 3 a.m. I try to give myself a bedtime of 2, but that doesn't always work. Like I'm sleepy, but I could probably go to sleep if I went to bed. But then it's kind of bad, like you said. It's like a blessing and a curse because then I know I'm not going to get up anywhere before 12 for sure now. And then it's like half the freaking day is already gone. And then it's like I got to go back to work. And it's like, ugh. Yeah. Yeah. I don't really either. We weren't raised with going to church. We didn't my parents didn't take us to church, but like family went to church, so if you were staying with them, it was expected that you would go, which I found kind of weird. So I did not grow up with a planned type, expectation of what religion I believe in, so I kind of had to find my own. So I would say the closest for me, the closest that I felt something that could be other than myself was through Buddhism. But I don't practice on a daily basis. I practice the teachings, try to in my daily life, but I don't go to the monastery. I just find organized any type of organized religion just to be really very odd. I feel like it's such a personal thing that, I don't feel like I have to go and be around other people. And I guess maybe that's to just have a sense of community as well. But I'm not a fan of Christianity for sure, just given the history of it and from on my own experience of people that call themselves Christians, but they don't put their money where their mouth is. So, I have some pretty wild theories too. Maybe we can talk about that later on my next stream. We can theorize about things. And actually, I can ask you a question. When I went to Starbucks today or yesterday now, the barista, they must have been having a discussion and she asked me what I thought, and then I thought my response was kind of funny. So we can share that story later. So we give the lurkers something else to talk about. Or listen to us talk about. Right? But hey, according to your dad, that's allowed. I'm sure he probably hears that. If there is, he or she or it or whatever that benevolent being is. Man, can you imagine? Can you imagine what that would feel like to be a god over everything and everybody's praying to you at the same time? Like, whoa. He's probably like, whoa, people, just whoa. See, and I find any humor triggered, any humor that's directed at religion, it cracks me up. I love it. Because it's so just, yeah. It takes itself too seriously sometimes, I think. That makes me almost want to make a shirt that says, I told God to fuck off and I lived to tell about it. Oh, that humored me. I think that would be a funny shirt. Especially around here. All right, kiddo. I think I'm going to have to wrap it up. That wall's coming down over my face. I know, right? Right, exactly. Oh, exactly. The only time I really enjoyed church is if they were talking about Satan. Then I perked up and I listened because I found it very. Yeah, right, right. Yeah. No, we'll talk later about what my theories are. They're based more in science than they are in faith, but I mean that's honestly what I think. All right, speak now or forever hold your peace. I don't want to cut you off if you got something else. Okay, you have a good night. We will see each other again soon, I'm sure. Probably later this afternoon, probably about 12 hours from now ish or so. All right, see ya. Behave. Back to comics. All right.